Hi friend, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and today, really pumped, really excited, because I get to share some new lights with you. A lot of people are always asking me, okay, and this is a really, one of the top questions I get, is what light should I buy, who should I buy it from, and how do I get a great deal? And truth be told, in the past, I give suggestions, and I have ideas, and, even though models are always changing, I have given advice, but today I want to share with you a new brand that's actually not new, but is a brand that I think you might really like, and you might want to give a real consideration next time you're buying lights. They're a brand called Gamma LED Vision. They're started by a guy named Carlos Madrigal, and, truth be told, I first saw these guys this year at the LDI trade show, and I thought to myself, okay, a new importer of LEDs and other lights, awesome, right? There's a ton of those out there. We really don't need any more out there in the world, and they just make things more confusing. And so at first I wasn't so interested, but then they got their stuff out, and I was really looking at their lights and talking to the team there, and I realized that no, there's something different about these lights. So today we're going to look at a couple things. We're going to look at this guy right here, which is their TX4 250 watt zoom fixture. It's an LED engine, 250 watt. And we're also going to look at two pars. One of them's on the floor behind me, putting this nice amber sheen up the wall. It's actually not on very bright right now, so it exposes decent for the camera. And then the other guy we have is the same par, but in non-battery powered. This one's actually a weather-rated battery powered unit. So why another company? Well, I told you, I met these guys at LDI this year at the lighting trade show. And truth be told, when I started to talk to them, I realized there was something different. Let's take a look at one of these LEDs. This is their LED light, their Starburst. It's a 7x18 watt LED unit. And the first thing I noticed about this is not only is it really well priced, the minimum advertised price I believe is $197, but it's a good unit. It's solid, it's well built, it doesn't feature any fans, it's completely convection or heat sink cooled, and it's got PowerCon in and outs as well as 3-pin DMX and a nice buttons and nice screen. Not only that, but when you turn this thing on, you see that it makes really good colors. This thing looks nice. It's not just a pretty face. And so, I began asking, of course, I was looking at this light and I was thinking, okay, this is a $300 to $400 light. No, it's $200. That's the minimum advertised price. And so I started talking with their team and realized that the Gamma team, as I found, really has a couple pillars to their lights. A few things that are really important to them. And number one is quality for you, the customer. Quality for the customer. And I think that's really cool. And number two is keeping the cost reasonable. So one of the things they do that I really like that the other people don't do, that other brands aren't doing, is that they aim with every light that they make. They try to make a light that when they make it is going to last a long time. Okay? They not only the individual unit that you buy, but also the product cycle. I don't know about you, but I am sick of manufacturers that I see where they put out a light, say it's the blank spot 250. Sorry to bust on Chave. And then the next year, they have the 255, and then the 260, and then the 265. And all of these lights are almost identical. It's just between year over year, they just add a little feature here, tweak a little feature there. And to me, that's frustrating and pointless because if you bought two lights last year and you want to buy two more this year, all of a sudden it's a different light. The DMX channels might not be the same. Some of the things inside might not be the same. And it's going to be slower and harder to program. Okay? So enter these lights. So they're really well priced, and this is really just an introduction. I'm going to go through once I have my new studio ready and my new office, because I'm moving out of this one, and shoot more in-depth videos on these guys. But let's look at this moving head for a minute. This guy is a 250 watt spot style moving light. Okay, the minimum advertised price on it from Gamma, according to them, is just under $900. Okay, for that money, you get a really solid light. If you look at the lights in that price range from the other brands, you don't get this much out of them. Okay, First thing you get is you get intensity control at a strobe, 250 watt LED, and you get variable speed fans. Now, why that matters to you, you're like, okay, David, I don't care about variable speed fans. Well, it matters to you because that means that this unit is quieter when you turn that light off and it has a second to cool down. The fan's quiet. When it needs the full power of those fans, it turns them up all the way, and it even will protect its LED if it gets way too hot. I believe it's at 70 degrees Celsius, that it'll start to dim the LED so that you don't damage it. I wasn't able to do that in testing because it's not that hot here, but I imagine if you were outside on a stage or something in the heat of summer, you could get there. Okay, so all the normal shutter and that. You get 2 gobo wheels. One has rotating gobos, one doesn't. You get a prism, and the rotating gobos, by the way, are replaceable. You get a color wheel that's got 7 colors plus open, and I really like the colors that they gave us. You can notice if you look at them as the colors are scrolling across here on the screen, there isn't like this light blue or light pink that seems to show up in budget moving heads from other brands that I never use. There's a zoom. Zoom is a huge feature because it's an actual motorized zoom. So if you look at other moving heads in this price range, you're going to see maybe a manual zoom, maybe no zoom at all, maybe a changeable lens. This guy's got a motorized zoom. The only note on that is to keep it compact and to keep it reasonable, the zoom does go through the range that has the frost and the prism. And so if you have the frost or the prism in, you can zoom it narrow or you can zoom it wide, but in the middle is where that frost or prism sits, and so you can't make a transition from narrow to wide on the zoom in that range. But for lights this price, that's totally typical, totally expected. I wouldn't expect to have a seamless zoom like that in anything less than a professional light, a much brighter, much bigger light. So kudos to them. It's great that these have a motorized zoom. I think it's awesome. You'll just note that it's not going to go past a certain point in either direction if you've got that prism or frost in it. Not a deal breaker. Looking at the light itself, just to give you a quick overview, on this side, we've got 3 and 5 pin DMX. We've got PowerCon. On the display side, we've got a nice display with nice buttons. I'll insert a close-up here. And it's color display. The menu's easy to use. It's bright. You're able to just change whatever you need to on it, and it's good to go. On the safety certification side, by the way, the pan and tilt are very smooth. I took a video of that here, how smooth they are, even at a really tight range. And on the safety certification side, this is a really big deal, right? Because you've got to make sure these lights are safe. And these are CE listed, okay? Which means most countries in the world, most places, that's going to pass any cert that you need. Some places in the US, it might have to be UL. We can talk about the politics of that later. But regardless, if you don't demand that UL listing, you just need something that's safe, that follows the CE standard that most of the world follows, including many places in the US, then you're good to go. All right. And so I'm really impressed by these lights, as you can probably tell. I'm going to do more videos on them, both the Par and the moving head, and really dive deep into the features and show you how to use them, because I think these guys have made a really great light. So how do you get these things? Well, the best way to get a hold of these things is to call these guys, okay? They'll either refer you to a dealer or sell you the lights themselves, but they're super nice people, okay? I'm going to list their website here. You can check out some more details there and also call them, because that's really the best way, is to get in touch with them, check out these lights, and see for yourself how they work and how they work in your rig once you get some. So I recommend doing that. The full disclosure, I forgot to do that at the start. The full disclosure is they sent me these lights to test, but they're not paying me to review these lights. I would honestly, if I reviewed something from one of the other brands, I could get a commission easily off of Amazon. These guys, I said, you know what, I don't need to worry about that. I just want to show people a really good light, so that's what we're doing. Okay? And so, yeah, good lights, nice people. Gamma just works because they want to have a long product cycle that helps keep the cost down, and they don't do a ton of advertising. They've been doing this for about 10 years now, so they've got a long history of making good stuff, and I would argue that you should really check this out price out their stuff and compare it to the other brands out there. Because I know that I'm going to start pushing a lot of people their direction because I see a quality product. And when I talk to the team and I talk to their customers, I met a few at LDI, some people have bought these lights, 8-9 years ago from when Gamma first started, 10 years ago. And they're still using those same lights today. They're still working hard. They're still doing a great job. So what have you got to lose? Check these lights out. I think they're really cool. Like I said, I'm not being paid to say this. What I want to do more than anything else is connect good people with good gear. And in the past on Learn Stage Lighting, I've done a lot of that with consoles. Really console focused, really control focused. And that stuff's super important. But I want to do more of that with lights. And I thought when I met these Gamma people and they wanted to send me some demos, I thought, oh, what a perfect opportunity to really share this stuff with people. Get people seeing that a $900 moving head like this doesn't have to feel really cheap. It doesn't have to last only a few years. It could be a really solid unit. So check out Gamma. Again, check out more. You don't have to buy their stuff, but I think they're really worth looking at because they're really doing a good job. I'm going to feature their stuff more in future videos, and I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Be sure to like and subscribe here on YouTube, and also check out LearnStageLighting.com. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.